All right, I'm sitting down with local country singer, star, and on the rise in his own right, full-time student here, Devin Henry. Devin, great to have you on.
What's going on, Hayden? Thanks for having me, man.
Devin, I heard you got a big hometown event coming up. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so this is the second hometown event, and it's kind of a celebration that I kind of came up with last year as a means to celebrate the strides that my hometown and a lot of the businesses and the people are making. It's just really good to see people branching out, following their passions, and that's kind of what my idea was behind the event. However, I really wanted to think of a way that I could give back to the community and to something that was very close to my heart. So last year, it would have been about a year and a half ago, on July 11th, my life kind of changed, and one of my best buds committed suicide. So the town kind of where I come from, there is a lot of depression, anxiety, and mental illness that I think really just hasn't been addressed for a long time. So I really wanted to give back to that, and this year, rather than last year, it was more so of a celebration. This year, I really wanted to focus on giving back to that coalition and that I don't even know what you'd call it, but I really wanted to give back to that.
Yeah, that's really cool. And this is an event that you've had this is the second
year
in a row?
This is the second.
That's really awesome. How did the event go last year?
Last year we sold out the place, which was awesome. At that point in time, I didn't have a band. Now I'm starting to branch out a little bit more, so it's going to be a bigger and better show.
Yeah.
More artists. I got a lot of people opening up here with me. Dylan Jarrell and Jacob Gilmore. They're going to be opening up for me, as well as some other acts, some other people. They're going to be singing, and it's just going to be a really good event. I can't thank the people enough who have poured into giving back to the Suicide Prevention and Awareness Coalition, and I hope that it continues to flood in.
Yeah, that's really cool, Devin. It's warming up too, so it's a great time to spend outside.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Always a great atmosphere having country music outdoors and right down there in your hometown. That's really cool, and really cool that you're giving a lot of the money away as well. That's really awesome. I'm really excited to hear that you're attacking this issue of depression and this issue of suicide, and it's something that is quite frequent at people our age. So for you to have friends to pass away to suicide is, I'm sure, something that hits you home really hard.
Yeah, it most definitely does. Growing up, I can remember always thinking about how mental illness or depression, just having it beaten in my head that it's just mind over matter, that it's something that can easily just be taken care of like that, and it's not. I've dealt with depression. I still deal with it. My town is really suffering from these types of mental illnesses, and I think that it's often overlooked. And the amount of pain that I know that I've experienced from losing other loved ones to such a problem, I really wanted to find a way that I could directly impact that. Mm-hmm. It's okay to not be okay, and I think a really big takeaway is that everyone matters. That hashtag you matter, because it's true. You mean so much more than the temporary problems that you're experiencing, and I encourage anybody to reach out if they can. It can only help you.
Yeah, and you wrote that song 23 Empty, which is a tribute to one of your friends.
Yeah. So I wrote that song about Anthony Sipple. 23 Empty, the concept behind it is actually exactly what I experienced that same night that I got the news. Mm-hmm. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's about having 24-pack of beer, and it's the one that you save. It's the beer that you save for the ones you love most, and not that my life is all wrapped up around drinking by any means, but I think that there are times, I'm sure that you've experienced it as well, sometimes saving that one beer for the person that means a lot to you, that's kind of like a special tribute.
Well, I mean, for somebody of your belief, like that there will be a day where you see Anthony, right?
Yeah, completely. And that's it's super reassuring. And is
We say that in the song. In heaven there's an old dirt road. So
yeah. It's just and the thing is, it's not only Anthony. Back home we've had several, and I don't really want to get into listing all the names and getting into all the specifics, but it's definitely a problem.
Yeah.
And whatever I can do to help fix it, even if it's just a little inkling of it, I want to do it as much as I can.
And I'm sure these people, feel so isolated too. Almost like a fear of being able to come out and say like, yeah, I have anxiety or depression, and like that, and are having thoughts of self-harm.
No,
Those
for
are something
sure.
that are just really tough to bring out to somebody, especially when you grow up and your friend Anthony played football, and like when you are raised in a culture of toxic masculinity, any sign of weakness is turned against you immediately. So for you to be somebody in your community that is saying like, no, I do want to talk about these things, and I'm willing to put away like the idea that somebody is weak because they think about these things, because you think about those things too.
Oh yeah, I mean completely. I mean, I have bad days just as anybody else has bad days. I have some bad days that are worse than other bad days.
Yeah.
And I agree with the whole toxic masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
To a certain extent, I think that a lot of people think that it's not okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
It's fear of being judged, fear of hearing the words come out of your mouth that, man, I've really thought of doing this myself. Man, this is really what I'm experiencing. And it's a lot of times I think it's fear of judgment,
mm-hmm.
fear of actually verbalizing what you're going through. But like I said, everybody matters. You matter.
Yeah.
I like to think I matter, maybe in someone's life or not. Not in a
of course,
not in a conceited way, but
and I mean the way you can look at it too is we were all created by God too, and if that's the way you choose to look at it, like that's a great way to look at it as, yeah, everybody really does mean something to somebody.
Oh, completely.
So,
I mean, I just think about a lot of the people in my area that have suffered from mental illness and
mm-hmm.
have actually committed suicide or self-harm. I just think about that one person that affected so many more.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's not just one person that this has happened to. It's several.
Yeah.
And just to think about the effect that it has on other people, the effect that, I don't know, but
yeah.
I definitely think that this is something that needs fixed and addressed, and this is something that can be prevented. And
Yeah.
a lot of people, it's not an incurable disease.
Right.
It's not cancer. It doesn't have a cure. It's not. It's not any of those terminal illnesses. It's something that can be cured. It's not going to be an easy road by any means.
Right, and a lot of that is going to have to do with that person themselves too, being willing to find the joy in life. But it's tough because we live in a tough world, man.
I agree.
It's cutthroat.
Totally.
I mean, it's cutthroat, and if you feel like you are trying to compete like with this image of yourself and it's this image of the world or what the world wants to have for you, like it can be really tough, man. Constantly trying to compete against this person that you're supposed to be, and you're never going to live up to that perfect person or that perfect thing that you want to be. You have to be able to accept who you are, and like I think you coming out and doing an event like this and, you continuing in country music, I think is something that is really bold and is something that you should carry along with you. The fact that you are being bold in what you're doing, I think is really honorable.
Well, I really appreciate it, Hayden.
Mm-hmm.
It means a lot. And, music's my passion, like without a doubt. I would do anything and I'd sacrifice a lot of things just to chase that. But at one point, and I would say that was probably this time last year when I came up with this hometown event, that I probably do music more for other people rather than for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I'm chasing my dreams for me.
Yeah.
But I see a bigger picture in the sense that, I want to show people that it's okay to go out and do what you love to do. It's okay to maybe chase a weird passion that maybe a lot of people don't think's cool. But, I like being different, and I think it's okay to be different.
Absolutely.
So, it's all about the big picture and who you do it for. And at the end of the day, Anthony is one of my reasons. Suicide prevention and awareness is one of my reasons. And whatever I can do with music to help take care of those problems, I'm willing to sacrifice anything.
Amen, brother. That 65 is flying high up there, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
man.
flying real
Yeah.
high, and I'm sure he's looking down. And I'm sure he's really happy to see, what you're doing and what you're doing for your community. Because, I think when it came down to it, like he knows more than anybody that you need a friend like that when you're in a spot like that. So, Devin, I'm glad to see that this is what you're doing, man. This is really exciting for you.
Well, I appreciate it, Hayden.
Yeah, thank you for coming on,
Thank
bro.
you so much for having me, man.